crazy, very quickly put together, but incredibly successful CD4 Firehouse Primary. She was previously a candidate for mayor of Richmond. She was policy advisor to Governor Northam. And we are very happy to welcome her here to talk to the Henrico Democrats tonight. Thank you, Alexis. You're welcome.
Good evening, Henrico Democrats. I got my organizing start in Henrico, and so every time I see Francis and Kathy and all of y'all, it just makes my heart so warm. My name is Alexsis Rodgers. I am running for state senate to follow in the incredible footsteps of Senator Jennifer McClellan. Many of you know I grew up in Hanover County, and as a queer Black kid in Hanover County, it was not always easy. Some of the fights that we're facing today, I faced in my high school as well. And I think that, Rodney Robinson joined me for a teacher roundtable the other day. And what he said, I think, is so true. He said that the biggest bullies for our kids right now, they're not in the school system. They're Governor Youngkin. They're some of these Republican extremists who are singling out young people who are simply trying to live as who they are, trying to wake up every day and do their schoolwork, trying to play sports and love who they love. That's all they're asking for. And so many of our young people don't have that experience because extremists are attacking them. As an organizer and as a policy leader, I've always looked out for those young people. I've always looked out for those working families like mine that didn't always have it easy, who had to work really hard to keep the lights on, to pay the mortgage, to keep food on the table. That's why I started as an organizer on Obama's campaign here in Henrico County, working with many of you in this room to make sure that we protected his legacy under the Affordable Care Act and made more progress. That's why I continued as an organizer and a policy leader to fight for college affordability and make sure that young people who wanted to go to college didn't have to spend an arm and a leg. And we have a lot more work to do on that area. I know I don't have to tell any parents in this room that. I would have gone further to make sure that healthcare is more accessible. I'm proud that I worked at Planned Parenthood to expand access to healthcare in the East End of Richmond and serving a lot of Henrico as well. We have more work to do, and we do have a Senate majority right now, but I don't have to tell any Henrico Democrats that it's not always been easy to pass Democratic policies out of our Senate. When we were fighting to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, we still had Senate Democratic leaders that said, not too fast, not too quickly, and not for everyone. And that's not the kind of Senate I think that we need. And it's not the Senate that Jennifer McClellan wanted to have, right? She was always a fighter and has always been a fighter for working families, for care workers, for people who are living on the margins. I'm really proud of my work with Jen to pass the first ever Domestic Workers Bill of Rights. That historic legislation is the first in the entire South and make sure that nannies, cleaners, and home care workers have a minimum wage, protections against harassment and discrimination on the job, safety and health regulations. Y'all, so when I go to the state Senate, I'm going to take all of this experience that I've had as an organizer, as a policy leader, as a community leader for the last 10 years and keep working for you just in a different role. We're going to talk about experience. We're going to talk about credentials. We're going to talk about background. And at the end of the day, it's going to be in the hands of Henrico Democrats, Richmond Democrats, Charles City County Democrats, a few precincts in Ashland Democrats to make sure that we make the legacy of Jennifer McClellan live on. I would be so honored to earn your support. I'm asking for it tonight. My website is alexisrodgers.com. I know a lot of you don't necessarily live in the district, but all of you might have $5 that you can contribute to this campaign. All of you might have an hour that you can join us to volunteer, to knock on some doors, make some phone calls. And I'm sure that you know somebody that lives in Jen McClellan's district and can help spread the word. Thank you so much for your time tonight.